Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I am Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. How are you today, sir?
Outstanding. How are you?
If I was any better, I would be our special guest. If you are on the YouTube, you already see him. He's in outer space because he's that great. The one and only Mr. Andre Edwards. Andre, how are you today, sir?
I'm well, fellas. Thanks for having me on. It's my favorite podcast of the year for sure.
Ours too, by far, without a doubt.
Easily.
Before we get into what we always do with Andre, I would like to say congratulations to Andre, debonair on stage at the Paris. You guys got is it a weekly spot, monthly? What are you guys doing out there, man?
Definitely not a weekly spot, man. This was a once in a lifetime.
You guys don't have a residency there
for sure. Like it was absolutely amazing. That's why I have the outer space background because man, I'm still floating out there.
You're still floating.
Like, it was absolutely incredible.
So for those of you that may not have heard a podcast from, this is years in the past. This has probably been 4 years in the making.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is we are in our 6th year of the podcast, but I feel like it was real early when you were telling us that it was a friend or somebody.
COVID relief thing. So, I mean, it was like the very, very, very beginning of COVID. So that's 2020. So yeah, 4 years.
There you go. And explain to us what happened here. Let's just go through this real quick, and then I got a little something we'll play for you.
Yeah. So a friend of ours bid on in a raffle for an opportunity for a night with Boyz II Men, which was supposed to be something along the lines of you get to go to dinner with them, you get a chance to go to their concert, and then at the time they had a brand of wine called Harmony Wine that is no longer a thing, but so that was kind of the whole spiel. Well, this person is a business person and so decided to do a little bit of negotiating, and so instead of it just being one person, it was 4 people, and instead of dinner and wine, it was like, well, can we get them on stage? And so after some negotiating back and forth, it was like, yeah, sure, let's make that happen. And then COVID kind of wiped out the rest of their residency at that time in Vegas.
Yep.
And then it's been 4 years of, hey, what about this venue? Or, hey, are you guys available here? Or, hey, we haven't heard from them in months on end. And so just a lot of, back and forth and trying to find a good time and a good spot for all parties involved. And turned out that last weekend was one of those times that happened to work really well. It was back in Vegas. They had 2 sets of shows out there. And we got to go out Friday, sat in the little VIP section, and then afterwards got to hang out with Boyz II Men a bit. And then Saturday, they called and said, all right, what song do you guys want to sing? And I was like, well, are we singing with them or are we singing on our own?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, man, we want you guys to have the spotlight and, give me a verse and a chorus and let's go from there and see what happens. And then we go to the sound check and everything was great. And as we're singing in the sound check, Nate Morris of Boyz II Men decided to sing bass for us. And I was like, are you doing that during the show? Because if so, we're going to need you to do that.
And he did.
So he absolutely did, man. And it was incredible. I do have to say, because of the Bengals-centric nature of this podcast, he and I got into it on
Eagles fans,
Friday
right?
night. Huh?
Eagles fans?
Yeah. No.
San
Francisco 49ers fans.
What?
Yeah.
How do you grow up in Philly and be a Niners
fan? Don't even ask. He said it's a long story. So I said, okay, cool. But he tried to hit me with Brock Purdy over Joe Burrow, and I was not having it. So that's why if you watch the clip online, that's why he's like, well, they're a bunch of Bengals fans and blah, blah, blah. Because we probably went at it for a solid 20 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Clearly I won because there's no way in the world anybody wants Brock Purdy over Joe Burrow. So
I'm just happy Nate Morris was there for you. You got the full thing.
Yeah. So it was cool, man. It was great. We had an excellent time. And to experience it with three of my closest friends who, kind of went on that musical journey with me was
Now,
unbelievable.
before they let you on stage, did they like ask you for music, or did you like send them like your Spotify site or whatever?
No,
Like, hey,
they had literally before sound check, they had no idea if the four of us could
if
sing
y'all
or
can
not.
even sing,
Correct.
in case anyone was wondering if they can sing. All Andre Edwards, by the way. Oh my God. That's the coolest thing ever.
It was sweet, man.
You're the dude on the end in the orange pants when that got over, he was extremely excited. I got
that's
cold
Marcus.
chills right now. I got cold chills, dude. I have cold chills. That is cool. Not only is that cool, how did you guys figure out? You guys, I mean, everybody's doing the shoebop doobie doo, and you get to sing. How did that come about?
So it's a song that we used to sing in high school, and it just happened to be that I'm the one who sings that first verse. So literally, had it been any of the other dudes, it wouldn't have,
Sure.
you know what I mean? Like, we've always said it that way, that I sang the first verse of that particular song. So it just worked out in that fashion.
So cool, man. So awesome. On stage with Boyz II Men, Boyz II Men singing with you.
Yeah,
Well, at least
that's
one
wild.
of
Not
them.
only that, Boyz II Men introduced us, which
How
is
cool is
just
that? And then he
bananas.
finishes off Boyz II Men, make dreams come true.
Hey, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I know it.
So what was the interaction like beforehand, backstage, after? You guys hung out a little bit. Did you actually do the dinner, or was that
No,
okay?
but we
Being
got to
on
go to
stage was
sound
just
check. Yeah,
A lot of
we got
Brian
to go to
McKnight
sound
type
check.
stuff.
No Brian McKnight type stuff. Okay, be very clear about that.
Go back to previous podcasts that Andre Edward is on, and you can hear Brian McKnight stories.
Not a fan. Not a fan. Musically, yes. As a person, not so much. But it was we commented as a group that they were very similar to us. Not musically or singing, like they're uber talented, but more so from an interaction standpoint, like just cracking jokes on each other and just very, very down to earth. For as big of stars as they are, they could have been real jerks, and they were not at all. Um, you know, we we sang through sound check first time, and Sean Stockman comes walking out, and he was like, "Hey, look at that! You didn't suck. Good job."
That's awesome.
I mean, that is something I would absolutely say if roles were reversed. Some random dudes that we've clearly never heard sing before, and we're mega stars, and I'm like,
yeah.
Hey, look at that. Good job, guys. You weren't terrible.
Yeah, not bad. All right, we'll let you on stage.
Yeah. Like, good. We don't have to cancel this entire thing. So
Exactly. Exactly. Now, the people that were screaming and hooting and hollering, was that just the wives, or did you get like was there a pretty good amount of people in that place going?
Oh, it was. I mean, the place was packed, and it was just the fellas. So anybody who
All
was
the hooting
screaming
and
was just
hollering had
screaming
nothing.
for
Man,
screaming's sake.
so awesome, dude. That is so cool. Did it bring you back, make you feel like the old days when you were playing gymnasiums and stuff like that?
I mean, so somebody asked, was this like a bucket list type of scenario for you? And I think it goes beyond that. It's for me, bucket list is something that is achievable.
Yeah, I was just
Right?
gonna say it's something
Like
doable.
I've never been to Hawaii. So on my bucket list is Hawaii, right? And that is something that I feel at some point in time I should be able to achieve. Singing with Boyz II Men on stage and having that interaction with them for an entire weekend is not a bucket list type of scenario. That's a holy crap, I can't believe that just happened type of scenario.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
Who's the coolest one? Come on, let's go. Hey, actually, hold on. First question. Is Wanye as like crazy animated as he is in music videos? Is that just him? That's awesome. Love that. I feel like me and him would be best friends.
Just
High energy.
straight up going at it, man.
Love
Like
it.
even in rehearsal, when he's trying things out, he would be like, I didn't like that. And everybody else is like, it's just incredible. Absolutely awesome. Incredible. Coolest one I felt like was probably Nate, from the standpoint of he feels like the dude that keeps everybody in line, right?
I got you.
Like,
yeah.
Hey man, we got this. Everything's chill. You guys are good. Don't sweat it. We got it. We'll stand here. We'll figure it all out. Now, where do we need to stand? And where's our cue to do this? We got it. Don't worry about it.
Right.
So very chill. Very chill.
The leader.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Personnel question. Did I see Mike McCary, I think it is? He was there, right?
Friday night.
Is he touring with them again?
No, so he was in the audience.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Friday night he was in the audience. Unbeknownst to us or anybody who was in the audience. So they kind of had a section of the show that they were doing some talking and just talking about brotherhood. And you hear stories and you see things in social media about who we are and what we do and what we're about and our relationship with our brother and blah 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 blah. And next thing you know, they're like, so we just want to lay all that to rest and show you that we're still a family. We're still like sometimes families fight, sometimes families fall out, but that doesn't mean that we're not family still. And as a matter of fact, and then like Spotlight comes out.
Oh, that's so cool.
Just here, I'm like chills, and people just like, wait, what? Yeah, it was crazy.
I always thought that it had to do with his, what does he got? Multiple sclerosis or something? Yeah. Scoliosis. I always thought that was the whole thing, and he just could not physically perform anymore.
So that was a part of it. Depending on who you hear and who you listen to, and there was some. I think he was battling some personal demons, whether it was depression or other things, anxiety, that we weren't as comfortable talking about back then as we are now, and so I think them embracing that piece and him understanding that piece kind of helped bring them all back together.
That's so cool, dude. Yeah. That is so cool. The whole group.
Yeah. If I was in that audience, guaranteed tears in the eyes.
Oh,
guaranteed.
100%. 100%.
Oh my God.
That's no doubt. And being who we are as Debonair and having that brotherhood and knowing that we've been together for, 30 plus years, like you could absolutely feel that energy in that way of tearful, overjoyed, that feeling. So yeah.
God,
that's cool,
man.
I have so many questions.
Yeah, there's no you didn't like, hey man, give me, you didn't like exchange numbers with anybody. You didn't keep in touch.
I did get their tour manager is this dude named Joe Movey, who is super cool, man. I mean, he made the experience for us something that I couldn't have never imagined. Like he treated us like we were supposed to be there.
Right.
And so he and I exchanged information. And he was like, man, if we're ever in Cincy, I'll hit you up. Let's get together. Maybe we can get that dinner. So, it was
That's
fun.
cool. Very cool. Yeah. Love that you get to do that. Oh my God.
That's so many questions though.
I
You
like
see
literally
those dudes?
literally the coolest thing I have done musically. Like I've been, or we've been on stage with, or we've been on the same stage as, so not with, but as the same stage as people like, Montel Jordan, Brian McKnight, Aretha Franklin. When I was in college, I did we sang it for the Olympics. So like Gloria Estefan and Stevie Wonder and things like that. So I mean, like, music has put me in places that are, and in proximity to folks that, 99% of the population have never been around. But this particular interaction and sharing the stage, even if it was just for, we were out there 2 minutes maybe, but sharing that stage and sharing that moment with those people from a legends standpoint, from a experience standpoint, from quite frankly a musical idol standpoint,
Sure.
it's just something that you can't really put into words and do it justice.
Unbelievable. All right.
And let's not forget one of those things, one of those accomplishments in your music career leading us into this next part of our line of questioning was singing the national anthem at the Bengals game.
Speaking of which, so this past weekend was LSU USC, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're coming onto an elevator, getting off an elevator, Andrew Whitworth.
What? Let's go.
Nice.
Oh my
So
God.
we got a chance to meet him and just be like, hey, so we sang the national anthem at a game, and I'm sure he was like, sure, that's nice, fellas, keep it moving.
Yeah.
But
and he picked you up. He picked you up in his hand and
right, exactly.
put you in his pocket.
But yeah, we grabbed a quick picture with him, which was super nice of him. But he was a cool dude.
Speaking of legends as well,
You shared a field with Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah. A stage with.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, he was still there, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was. So he and Eric Winston were the first two people that came onto the field as we were coming off to like shake our hands and say thanks for doing the anthem. And I swear, like, if this was my hand, his hand just like over my forearm.
Oh, I believe that.
Good
Yeah.
God, man.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. So that does lead us to this year's Bengals team.
Yes. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's get into. I feel like Nate Morris though has got to be like I get that he always seems like the leader, but he just looks like he's too cool for school all the time.
But
he talk to you guys. I feel like that dude would be the first one to like big time you.
No, there was no. I mean, literally, there was no big timing from any of them. None at all.
Did you have a favorite growing up of Boyz II Men? Like a favorite guy?
Well, I mean, obviously,
you were a Wanye Morris guy.
1,000%. I would sit in my living room and just get on.
Yeah, right. Yes.
I would be on the floor when the water runs dry, like rolling around, just trying to be like him.
You were Wanye. Mine was Sean. Did you have a favorite when you were younger?
I was always partial to Nate because of the first album. Like before Wanye became like the legendary Wanye of finishing every song and doing all these crazy runs that no one else on the face of the planet could do. Nate Morris sang a whole heck of a lot of that first album. And his range is incredible. Like from the highest of the falsetto highs to
bass for you.
Basically now being the bass of the group. And even his speaking voice is about an octave lower than the average human.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, okay, fellas, let's get this. I'm like, and then he's like, good God, man. Nuts. It's nuts.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Very cool.
God, that is so cool.
I know.
I just would have wanted to do Motown Philly. I'd have walked up there like, we're all doing Motown Philly right now.
So we went to the concert the night before, and that was part of it. Was you don't want to do a song that they're doing in the show.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So,
and they have to do Motown Philly. They have to.
Yeah.
It's a must.
But I'm surprised they didn't do It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday, right?
they did during the show.
No, he did in the heat of the night.
Or it's, no, I'm sorry. In the still of the night.
Whatever.
Sorry, that's what.
Heat of the night. I'm hot right now.
So they didn't do that
that a
in the
movie?
show?
No.
Wow. Kind of surprised. Well, I mean, their greatest hits album is 1,000 songs long, just like the person we're going to talk about, the band we're going to talk about.
And to, like, honestly, the concert itself was, I don't know, an hour, maybe hours and change.
Okay.
So
they only had so many songs.
Man, they couldn't even
so there's only so
left
much,
a lot of stuff out.
Yeah. There's only so much time that you have in order to make that happen. And Robin Thicke was the opener, and I think he did, like, I want to say he did maybe 35 or 40 minutes, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pretty short and sweet set.
That's cool. I like Robin Thicke too.
And you got 2 minutes of it.
Hey, I'll take them.
Hell yeah, I'd take it. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to send him my acapella from this podcast. See if I can get myself on tour. We laughing at? I ain't lying.
Hey, I know a guy.
That's right. You know, tour manager.
I'll get it straight to
Andre,
Joe.
let me get that number.
Hey, I'll get it straight to Joe. Don't even worry about it.
You just take it from episode 60 or whenever you sang when you
absolutely just grab that clip, send it to, you'll be on tour in no time.
Flip it and go, baby. Was that Water? I can't remember what I did. I think I did a Boyz II Men song though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So smart.
All right. Well, speaking of time constraints.
Sorry, time constraint. Let's go. All right. It's 10:15. All right. So let's talk about the Bengals. Andre.
Yes.
Obviously, first and foremost, the most important thing, Jamar Chase back at practice today. Most important day. Wednesday is when they put everything in. That's when they put the whole offense together in for the game on Sunday. Feels good for Sunday. Am I wrong?
I don't think so. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think there's any reason for him to come out and practice Wednesday and then not practice Thursday and not practice Friday type of deal. Whether the contract situation is a whole other piece to this. I do think the reason why he practiced on Wednesday is because they're at least close enough that
he did say, I'll talk to everybody on Friday.
Yeah, I'll talk to everybody on Friday. So, I mean, they're
Friday?
at least close enough
Who plays Friday?
that it's worth talking about, right? And so let me get the install, let me get the game plan and go out and do what I need to do. So
who plays on Friday?
Who plays on Friday?
Yep. Do you know? Friday's game?
I saw there was a game on it.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm looking it up. Kansas City plays on Friday. Jamar Chase, not a big Kansas City fan, if I'm not
mistaken. They play Thursday.
Oh, they're Thursday. Well, maybe he wants to talk to the media on Friday.
The Thursday night opener is Baltimore and Kansas City.
So maybe he wants to talk to the media on Friday because it's going to be announced Thursday during the game.
Which is exactly what Joe Burrow did last year. He announced his contract right before the start of the Kansas City game, just to kind of,
take some steam off that
game. A little shine,
Yes, I would love if that happens. I would love that. First off, anyway, there's a whole nother thing that goes in with holding in 2 years before your contract's up. That's really standing on business right there, bud.
It is, but when I think I read a stat that if this year, in his fourth year, if he does this for a fourth year, is 80 catches, 1,000 yards, and I think it's 7 touchdowns. It's either 6 or 7 touchdowns. He will be the first wide receiver in NFL history to do that 4 years in a row. In his first 4 years, I should say. Sorry.
Wow.
That's impressive.
It's still really weird to me. I know this is just like the state of the business of football because it happens every year with other players, but it's still really weird to me that it's just accepted that people are under contract and they just choose to not come to work, and that's okay. Like,
Well,
it's still really strange to me.
But in a way, though, you're talking big money. You're talking generational wealth type money. Like this is your kids and your kids' kids, and you're playing a sport that the average time frame is like 2.5 years, right?
3.5. Yep.
3.5 years. So there's a really good chance you're going to get injured. So if you are one of the top 3, and these guys, there's people making more money than you, and you know that this is your one chance to do it, I understand that because it's a business. It is a business. No matter what you say, they're playing a game. The fanatics and the fandom. It is still a game or still a business, and you have to. Yeah, you're negotiating your next deal, just like you would do if it was me. If I'm out there and some sales guy's terrible, but they just gave him a bunch of money, I'm going. I know that I'm under contract for the next 2 years, but yeah, this ain't happening.
No, but you would still have to come to work during that, though.
He did come to work.
No, most of the time he did not come to work.
He was there
he was
at practice,
but he wasn't practicing, which makes a difference.
Yeah, he was there.
Anyway,
it does make a difference.
All right, I don't want to get into a whole thing.
Did we lose Andre?
We do not have his picture.
I don't hear him either.
Yeah, I don't hear him either. Hopefully there's no emergency.
Yes, hopefully. Maybe he muted and ran. It doesn't say he muted either, so that's not good.
No.
Okay. That's okay.
I will. Yeah, I'll. Okay.
What we got?
He'll be. Oh, laptop died. He'll be right back.
Laptop died. Be right back. So on that, I'll just say on that point, you hear people talk about, you can get cut, you can get fired, you can get all these things, and they only owe you so much of your contract unless it's fully guaranteed, which almost none of these contracts are. There are becoming more and more that have bigger guarantees on them in the NFL, but 99% of the NFL contracts out there are not guaranteed money, so they can just cut you and you're gone. So yeah, I if I'm one of the best, I'm using that as positioning to get that money. And if you can get it, go get it. I got no problem with it. I love every bit of it. I say go get it.
Sorry about that, boys.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just explaining to him why I have no problem with what Jamar Chase did.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all, really. I mean, I think you only have so much time for leverage, and you have to put whatever pressure that you can on the team to get what you want, because otherwise you don't really have any teeth to what you do, especially with the way the collective bargaining agreement is set up. Players don't have any sort of leverage. So the only thing they can do is, all right, well, I just won't play. But even that, to a certain extent, is difficult, because then you run into, all right, if you don't play, and let's say you hold out for the whole year, well, they learn from the whole Le'Veon Bell.
I was just going to say Le'Veon Bell
of if you don't play a year, you just come back next year as, again, a 4th-year player. So you don't accrue a season, you don't accrue time, and you're back in the exact same predicament you were, but you missed a year of your prime. Do you want to do that? Not to mention all the fines and not getting paid. So the NFL ownership group has made it very difficult for players to have any sort of leverage in the whole process, really.
Do you know when the next collective bargaining agreement comes up?
I don't. I'm not sure when that ends. I'm sure we can look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely. I'll look it up. But um, man, I had something I was gonna say before I started looking it up. Anyway, go ahead if you got another question.
No, I mean, it is what so Jamar Chase will play on Sunday.
Yeah, I think he's playing.
Okay.
As long as my man Mr. Taylor keeps his mouth shut, because I think that's a big reason why he stopped practicing was
It could be.
because
It could be.
I think that they probably maybe they had some conversations and he felt and Zach Taylor felt really good about it, but they kept pressing him in the media and pressing him. And the one guy, greatest question I've ever heard. They asked Zach Taylor 4 times if Jamar Chase was going to play in week 1 after he had came back from that came back and practiced that one random Thursday or whatever it was, and or it was Tuesday. And Zach Taylor kept kind of deflecting it, like we're going through a process. There's a process, da da da. And then the one guy goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, my Zoom went out. Did you say Jamar Chase is going to play week 1?" And he was like, "Yeah, we feel pretty good about it." And I was like, "He did it. That dude did it with the fake Zoom going out. That was totally a fake Zoom going out." And he got him to say it.
Just like Andre just did to us.
And it's exactly. And as soon as he said it, you could almost hear in Zach Taylor's voice, "Oh, I screwed up. I might have went too far right there."
I told him I wouldn't say anything.
I know it. I wouldn't say
and I
nothing. And then Jamar
did.
Chase's agent said, "Nope. No, no,
Go.
no. Now the Bengals think that we're going to play." No, sir. Guess what? That deal's done. Now we're not being at practice. I think that's what happened. Personally, felt that way.
Wouldn't surprise me.
All right.
Sorry.
Joe Burrow's healthy. He's ready to go. He's top of his game. He's all good, right?
Strongest his arm has ever felt, according to Joe.
He's as strong as he's ever looked, too.
Yeah, dude added like a
He-
solid 10 to 12 pounds of muscle in the offseason, which given the fact that he had a wrist injury is pretty surprising to me. Like, I don't know what restrictions he had, but even his I'm like chest and buys and like, I mean, across, he looks big. Yeah,
You got to grab on to weights.
he looks big, man.
He is big boy. He's looking good. Looking good. The hair, not a big fan of, but he's looking good. Frosted tips. He's going to end up with frosted tips.
That's
what
what
are
he
we
said.
doing?
That's
What
what
are
he
we
said.
doing?
Well, I think it was a fundraiser, like for a cancer patient type.
Okay.
So maybe not a fundraiser, but I think it was a cancer patient thing. And then he got BJ Hill to do it as well, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
That's the fun. Yeah. That's a good one too.
Gotcha.
Anyway, yeah. So he looks good. Chase is going to be there. Who knows what capacity he's going to be, but those guys have played together for 3 years now, and in college before that. So that kind of just kind of starts. That'll catch flow pretty quick.
Yeah.
Not worried about that.
My only concern from a Chase perspective is dude hasn't been hit since January. Like, yeah. I don't care how much.
He doesn't get hit very often in games either. My man's pretty slippery. He goes down pretty quick.
There's still a difference though, right?
Yes.
Of game speed, getting hit, like soft tissue issues, all of those things that when you're running drills against air is one thing. When you're actually in the game is another. So I am just keeping my fingers crossed that those things don't rear their ugly head once he steps on the field.
So during training camp, I felt like every other day I was getting an alert on my phone that said so-and-so has been carted off the field with a lower leg injury. All I want to know is there anybody who stands to play a lot of snaps for this team, is going to be of some importance to this team, that is that is down right now, is going to be out for a while, is going to affect the success of the team?
Miles Murphy. Yeah. He's the fourth defensive end in that rotation. And I think they were counting on him to have a pretty big year, because now that means, Hendrickson has to play more snaps. And that means Hubbard has to play more snaps. That means a dude that we keep hoping does something in Joseph Osai, has to actually do something. Um, and I think they were really looking forward to seeing what Miles Murphy could do. And if there was if I had a second choice or kind of a backup choice, probably McKinley Jackson. Um, like Amarius Mims is pretty close to coming back, so I wouldn't say him, but McKinley Jackson, I think the biggest issue for this team right now is can they stop the run? You don't have DJ Reader anymore. And you don't really have that big nose tackle body type on this team. Like Sheldon Rankins is decent at stopping the run, but he's more of a pass rush dude. BJ Hill is okay, but he's more of a pass rush dude. Um, Jenkins, the cat they drafted in the second round out of Michigan, like he's okay at stopping the run. You don't really have that big body space eater. And I think they were really dependent on McKinley Jackson to do that. And without him there and now on IR return, he's going to miss at least 4 games. And then how long does it take to get him in shape and ready to football shape and ready to go is a whole other question. So I would say those two are probably the biggest hits from a preseason loss standpoint.
Okay. Where would you rank like, or what have you seen anything? Where does the offense, as far as the entire NFL, rank? Is this going to be one of the best 3 offenses in the league? Same thing on defense. Where do you think we end up? The Bengals end up. I'm not on the team. Uh, uh, Mostly offense and defense. I'm interested to see where you think middle of the pack, top
Yeah,
tier.
this should easily be a top 5 offense, without a whole lot of question. Other than what's it like the first time or the 100th time or whatever it is that Joe goes down and has to brace himself with his hands, right? Like those are things that we just don't know until it happens. Um, you don't get hit in camp. Quarterbacks definitely don't go to the ground very often. You know, has he been training in such a way that he knows how to fall and protect that wrist every time he goes down? Those are just things we just don't know until that happens. But from let's say Joe plays, you know, 16, 17 pretty healthy games. There's no reason this offense shouldn't be a top 3 to 5 offense with given Jamar, T, Yoshi, Irwin, if Burton ever gets his head out of his tail, Gesicki, the 2 running backs, Moss and Chase. I mean, like they have an abundance of weapons at the disposal of a quarterback who knows what he's doing. And for the first time in Joe's career, they actually have an offensive line that should be decent. I'm not saying it's a top 5 or top 10 line, but if it's top 15 to 20, somewhere in there, instead of being 31st or 32nd, I think they'll be all right offensively.
So Joe came out a couple years ago, and was talking about they were talking to him about how frustrated he was with how many times he got sacked.
Yeah.
And he put it all on his shoulders. He's like, "Look, if it's 3rd and long, I'm going to try to hang on to the ball for a little bit longer to try to make something happen if we're not in field goal range." So those sacks are on me. I'm not getting rid of the ball when I absolutely would normally do that in field goal range or different places. So I'm taking sacks. How much of that after these injuries, it's like, all right, Joe, we appreciate you. We know that you can get out of some crazy situations, but unless you're seeing Tua's jujitsu trainer about how to fall, let's go ahead and throw the ball out of bounds every now and then.
But I think he did that last year, like that, or at least that was the intention of last year and the year before that. Was understanding and recognizing that I can't take all these hits, man. I'm just the body can only take so many before, all right, you end up like Andrew Luck and you got to leave the game early, right? And I think that was something that they worked on, that they talked about, and that he was consciously, aware of and trying to do. Don't take hits that you don't necessarily have to take. We'll find out if, that continues when the season starts on Sunday.
But it's like a Mahomes thing, right? Like you can only you have him as your starting quarterback because of the crazy, insane things he can do under duress.
Sure.
Joe's the same way. So, like him being able to scramble and keep the play alive, he's done it so many times and turned around and done something insane. You also don't want to put a harness on that either, because now you're not letting
Yeah,
Joe be
but I think
Joe.
there's a balance there, right? If it's, to your point of being in field goal range, now do you risk that play where his first couple of years, he absolutely would have done that. Held
Yeah.
on to the ball too long, taken a shot that he didn't need to take, and, potentially have some sort of injury or, again, just the accumulation of hits, so to speak, right? Now he is talking about, if we're in field goal range, man, maybe that's a ball I get rid of, right? Maybe that's a place where I step out of bounds instead of trying to get an extra yard or two, or just throw the ball away, those type of situations. And I think game awareness is something that he's increased since being in the league. And so you got to understand where you are, what's happening, what's going on. And sure, I might be able to get out of, Chris Jones's sack on 3rd and 14 and complete a 15-yard pass to Jamar Chase. Maybe, but we could also just take these 3 points and I don't have to worry about getting hit by Chris Jones. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
What do you love about the defense?
Von Bell's back.
Which gives Dax Hill over to what I think he's even better at cornerback,
Correct.
which is how great is that to take your best safety and put him at a position he's better at cornerback and bring in a guy who knows the defense, has been here before. I think that's by far the best part of the defense.
That safety room between Von Bell and Geno Stone, maybe not the most athletic guys in the world, but knowing where you're supposed to be and being there in a timely fashion versus I'm not quite sure where I need to be. I'm fast enough to make it back there most of the time, but not quite. I guess wrong. It is different, right? And so if I'm slower, but I'm where I need to be and I'm there in a timely fashion, a run that would go for 22 yards because Dax wasn't quite in the right spot now goes for 7, or now goes for 3 because it didn't break out past the safety. And I think it also helps the communication with the linebackers, right? So if I'm a linebacker, I'm kind of that in between the defensive line and the secondary. So if I'm worried that my secondary might not be in the right spot, then okay, maybe I hedge a little farther back than I probably should have, or our communication isn't quite the way it should be, then the defense just doesn't work. And you can tell Lou Anarumo's level of comfortability this offseason versus last season are night and day. Like he just feels like a dude that's like, okay, we got this. We got this. Whereas last year, I don't think he had any answers. I think this year he feels like he has all the answers.
Okay. You good?
I turned our mics down, but I don't know. It probably didn't do anything for Andre, but I got we don't have cough buttons. So I got to turn around real quick and get the knob down.
I got you. Is there anything before we go through this schedule quickly and pick our wins and losses? Is there anything else about this team you think is important to mention, to discuss a couple of days before the season starts?
No, I mean, I think how do they stop the run? I mean, that's probably, especially on defense, that's the number one question. Like we know they have blazing fast corners. We know they've got super smart and athletic linebackers. We know that they have, a Trey Hendrickson that can rush the rush the passer. You know you've got Sheldon Rankins who can rush the passer. But with no DJ Reader and currently with no McKinley Jackson and no real live nose tackle to clog up that middle, what does the run defense look like? Because you can be pounded into submission pretty quickly if you can't, if you can't go and if every time an offense is in 3rd and 2, Trey Hendrickson becomes much less of a disruption, right? Versus 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12, because you stuffed a couple of runs. But if every time they're getting 4 to 5 yards on a run, they're in 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 6, and then they're in 3rd and 1 or 2, like that's not a way for a defense to live, let alone the large and long breakaways that come out of that too, from just being pounded. And you look at the division, with Derrick Henry now coming in alongside of Lamar Jackson, when Chubb comes back for the Browns, even Pittsburgh, I think their quarterback situation is hilarious to me, but their running game is strong. So if you're going to win games and you're going to find a way to win the AFC North, you got to find a way to stop the run.
With your most objective, unbiased brain, do they win the AFC North?
Yeah, I think so.
Do they win the AFC?
I think they got a shot at it. I do. I mean, I genuinely think they have a shot at it. It's super hard to pick anybody over Kansas City and Mahomes, and that probably one Super Bowl short of a dynasty right now. Maybe it's hard to pick against them at this point.
Are they? Are they? I feel like they're there.
Yeah, and again, yeah, I wouldn't argue with you if you wanted to say it that's the case. By no means would I. I think we all compare everybody now to the Patriots and the 6 and 7 titles and blah 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 blah. But
they feel like the Patriots. Like when you talk about them, 100%. They feel like the Patriots.
Yep, 100% they do. And so until you find a way to knock off the king, he's still the king.
Guys, you are so good at this. Speaking of the Patriots, speaking of the Chiefs, those are the first 2 games of the season. Let's get into it. This Sunday, 1:00 at home against the Patriots. Andre, what do you like?
Man, if they lose a game to the New England Patriots in week 1, this is going to be a long season, boys.
Hey,
or very short.
Look at Kansas City last year.
Look here. There was as much as so specifically for the Bengals, Kansas City's in a different boat. They seem to turn things on near the end of the year and get everything figured out in those first couple of weeks, and then they're on go. The Bengals need to start fast, period. And if they don't start fast, the second half of this schedule is a monster. So you better grab wins when you can grab wins. And this is one of those times that they should grab a win. The weather is supposed to be like upper 60s, low 70s. So picture perfect day. Nobody should be overheating and, pulling hammies or getting cramps and all that great jazz. Like, it should be a really good game for the Bengals. And like, the Patriots are offensively inept. I'm not sure I can name more than one wide receiver on that team. Like, I don't know that I know them. And so
I'm just happy that you can pick a New England Patriots running back now, and
I think that's
think that he might,
right? Ramondre Stevens. That's all I got.
Ramondre Stevens.
That's all I got.
But
Jacoby
know
Brissett
that
is
he's
the starting
actually going to get handoffs, because when Bill Belichick was involved, they had 5 running backs, and you never knew which one was getting the ball that day.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not saying, because week 1s are always wonky, right? Like, there's always something weird that happens. Somebody who had no business winning a game wins a game and then they don't win the next 4 because they had no business winning games in the first place. So week 1 can be wonky, but you're at home and you do have this sense of we got to hit the ground running. So I think the Bengals come out with a win week 1.
Win, Chris?
Oh, yeah.
Win for me. Week 2, here we go. Sunday, the 15th against Kansas City in Kansas City.
Somebody else go.
Oh, you know me. Listen,
They're starting 11-0 according. I'm just gonna mark your.
I don't
Just
know yet.
W.
I just like this game because this is you've got early in the season. We've seen who the Chiefs are early in the season. You've got the Super Bowl hangover there. You've got a hungry Bengals team that has one team that they care about in the NFL. I know that the Ravens are probably their biggest rival in division now, but that Chiefs team, that's the only team they care about. I'm going to dub in Kansas City.
What you got, Adam?
I got a loss. It's in Kansas City. They're a dynasty. That's my whole thing. Your turn.
There you go.
Man, hey, I've done this show enough times with you guys. I was like,
You already
that's
know
a dub, that's an L.
We're just gonna go through the rest. I'm gonna ask you for all 3 of our picks. Right?
You know what? I'm actually gonna go W on this one. To Chris's point, now is the time to catch. So normally they play this game, week 16, 17, 18, somewhere, in that general vicinity. And there's a lot of hype around it and whatever. I think catching Kansas City early can be very beneficial to the Bengals, who should be, again, the focus is we got to get out to this fast start. If we want any shot at the number 1 seed and home field throughout, you got to knock off Kansas City.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to Monday Night
The next
Football.
2 should be W's.
Okay. All right, at home against Washington.
W.
W, Chris.
Say
W for me.
I mean, Jaden Daniels, I do think Jaden Daniels is going to be good.
Sure.
But we're not going to, he's got no chance in this game.
Again, if it was somewhere else, sure, maybe, but in Cincinnati, no way.
No.
Gotcha. Week 4 at Carolina.
Dub.
So tell me week 4 Carolina doesn't feel like a what do you call those games?
Trap game.
Trap game.
It does not feel like a trap game.
Well, I hope not. I mean, I'm going W. There ain't no chance they're losing that game.
Carolina's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a W for that one as well.
Bryce Young, though, man.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, though, man. I don't know.
I don't know what to say. Little skinny Bryce Young.
All 5'7" of him.
And 137 pounds.
Adam
Soaking
Schmidt
wet.
playing quarterback.
Yeah. Yes. Adam Schmidt is the quarterback
Yeah.
for them. Slightly better arm. Much faster, but slightly better arm.
And quite frankly, I see a ton of Bengals fans going to that game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why is that?
Just again from folks that I've talked to, it's a game that's easy to get to from a travel perspective. Quick, easy flights in and out, and yeah. And I think it's a game that Bengals fans feel like we should win, or the team should win. You get a chance to get out of town to probably warmer weather than whatever it is we're having here in Cincinnati at that point. And yeah, I see that as if you're watching on TV, a chance where you could hear some hoodays on the broadcast.
Oh, that'll be
Love
fun.
that.
All right. Then it becomes not as fun probably the next week because Baltimore comes to town. Yeah, just a regular Sunday game, but Baltimore, you kind of mentioned it, probably the biggest threat in the division this year.
Adam, I think it's your turn to go first. Uh-oh. Schmitty changed it up on us.
I got a W. They're going to beat them at home.
Yeah.
They're going to beat them at home.
So, like Pittsburgh games in the past, I like these back and forth games where we win in Baltimore and lose at home. I think we split the series. Just for fun, I'm going to flip it around. Say they lose the first one, win the second. So I'm going to give this an L.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a dub. I think I like them. I like them at home. I think everybody's chirping about how great Baltimore is. They're the toast of the AFC North. Derrick Henry's there. I think if the Bengals play the way they should be able to play, Derrick Henry becomes much more of a non-factor in this game. Because I don't care how many times you run it, if you're down, 2 scores, then he can't run the ball. So,
and we've proven to be able to stop him many times in the past. And it's
sure.
all been Lou Anarumo for the last 5 years.
There's one thing Anarumo can do, it is stop Derrick Henry most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Then they go to Sunday Night Football the following week, week 6, at the New York Giants.
If that's not a dub, man.
I'm eating that dub. I'm Jameis Winston on that. Eating those dubs all day.
That's 3 wins. Week 7 at Cleveland.
Yeah, I can't say they're beating Cleveland until they beat Cleveland.
Okay, so that's your first loss of the year.
Dub.
Chris?
Dub.
W?
Yep. This is the year. This is the year we sweep Cleveland. I'm not worried about them.
I'm not
worried I am not worried in any shape or form. I get it. I get it. I totally get it. My territory goes all the way up into Columbus, and you can split Columbus across 70, and anybody north of 70 are Cleveland fans, south of 70 are Cincinnati fans. And it's I'll have probably 5 case of beer bets, and another 10 to 20 $20 bets on that game, because that's all people want to talk about up there. That's all they care, because they don't know what an NFL team is. That honestly, the only NFL team they have is Ohio State. So I don't know what it is. I can't stand them. I think this is the year they finally sweep them. I just hate going up there and having to listen to all those people.
Yeah.
So I'm putting all my money, all my beer, everything there is, the bet, I'm putting it all on the Bengals to sweep this year.
This past weekend, I was in Columbus for a comedy show.
Yeah.
And the feature act said, something, Cleveland. And he stopped and everybody was quiet. And he's like, guys, I'm mad at myself for that. He's like, he said, I've been to Cleveland plenty of times. I'd be mad at me too. Nobody wants to be those people. That was offensive. I apologize.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Yeah. So, okay, Cleveland. I got a loss on that one. I've just got them splitting with Cleveland. The home and home deal. Then they go to Philly. Week 8.
What you got, Chris?
No, they don't go to Philly.
They don't go to Philly. They're here.
Philly's here.
Yeah, this is easy. This is an easy dub.
Easy dub.
Easy dub.
Okay.
I don't think this Philly team is as good as they were last year.
Okay.
Easy dub.
They're much. It's not going to be an easy dub. I just truly believe that this is the Bengals' year. All right, listen, I know I do this.
I think I'm the only one who has them for 1 loss so far. So I'm with you, but
I got 1 loss too. We're about to be different, obviously, because I can tell by your face.
I'm just saying easy.
Well,
No, you said an easy dub.
Oh, it was the easy part that got you.
Yeah,
we're at home. Nothing's going to be easy about the Eagles. They're the one of the top 2 teams in the NFC. Like, they're that good. Nothing's going to be easy about it. But in my head, it's easy to say dub. How about that? Is that better?
Yeah.
I don't know if it is.
It's more acceptable because you're always Mr. Eternally optimistic anyway. So we're good.
Yes.
I mean, we were winning 10 and 12 games with Andy Dalton.
All right, we were. Yeah. I think Andy Dalton's last year with, yeah, for sure. Look, man, I in the red rifle, I trust.
I'm gonna say dub.
Like,
I don't think it'll be easy, but I'm gonna
I
say
like this, Andre Edwards. This is gonna be fun. We're either gonna have a race for the bottom or a race for the top, my friend.
You like that, Andre Edwards? I got a dub too. You were not expecting that.
Remember those cold chills I had when I saw you on stage with Boyz II Men? I've got cold chills right now. Do you only have them with one loss right now?
I've got him with 2 so far.
Two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's still very amazing for you.
All right. Then they go to Andre's now second home, Las Vegas. Nope. Sorry.
Good
Vegas
try.
comes here.
Yeah.
The Raiders,
Vegas
I
comes
wanted
here.
to say it.
Yeah.
Raiders come here. Andre's second home team comes here to his first home team. And yeah, week 9.
I don't see any reason why they shouldn't beat the Raiders. I don't know that anything about the Raiders necessarily scares me.
Again, you talk about trap games, man. This is Eagles, Raiders, Ravens. Those games scare me. They scare me. I am 100% in on a win for this, but these are always the games that make me a little bit nervous. I think we've got enough to, even if we did let it kind of slide a little bit, get a little scared. I can see this being scary in the fourth quarter, being down by 3 or a touchdown or something in the fourth quarter and having to come back and
It would remind me of that Saints game where like the Saints had no business being in that game versus the Bengals, just given the talent on the field. And then it took an amazing Jamar Chase catch, peel a defender off, and sprint sideline in order to win the game. Right. I could see something like that happening for sure.
But I'm going to go with a dub. Surprising to most, I know.
So we all have wins on that one. All right. Then they go to Baltimore for Thursday night football.
Loss.
By the way, on a 4-day turnaround or whatever.
That's
It's
a
Sunday
loss.
to Thursday. Yeah.
Yep, that's a loss.
This is the
not because I believe that Baltimore is that much better necessarily, but that 4-day turnaround on the road primetime game. Like if you look at the records of teams, especially in the AFC North, when they're that team that is on a short week playing primetime in somebody else's house, that's a loss.
Well, I already said that. I was splitting this and doing it the opposite ways. So dub it is.
Good luck, buddy.
All right. I've got a loss on that one.
Could be the determining factor. That game right there could be the determining factor.
Week 11, they go to LA for the Chargers.
Adam, what you got?
I've got them with 2. This is their only consecutive loss streak of the season for me. This is a loss for me going into the bye week.
I get that. It's West Coast, right? You're headed to the West Coast. However, this is heading to the West Coast with extra time.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I love teams playing. I love teams taking teams that just got done playing Thursday night football. Little extra break. You get an extra day of practice plus an extra day of break. I like that. So I'm going to take them as a win only for that reason. If this was Sunday to Sunday, just because I feel like there's got to be another loss in there somewhere, I would probably do that, but I'm going to say win because of that extra time that they have.
Yep.
This is tough.
And we don't know what this Chargers team is. Nobody has any idea what this Chargers team is. You've got a really, really talented quarterback and a coach that loves to run the ball. This could be I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's going to be interesting.
Over the map, right? But you also have a coach who knows how to win.
Yes.
Like everywhere he's been, he's won. So that it's tough.
Except for when his brother turned the lights out on him in the Super Bowl.
Strategy, baby.
But Big Brother turns the lights out on you in the Super Bowl.
Brother knows he's scared of the dark. Cut out the lights. All right, I'm gonna say. Clearly, I am waffling on this one. I'm gonna say dub.
Okay.
But I'm not. I don't feel great about it.
Sure,
I want that to be known.
Yes, I get that.
Week 12's the bye. Week 13, they come back at home against Pittsburgh.
Win.
Agreed.
I have a win as well. That's 3 wins. Let's go to Dallas for Monday Night Football the following week.
For some reason, they seem to struggle versus Dallas. Like, I don't know why. I don't really respect Dallas a whole heck of a lot, but I'm gonna say L.
I've got a loss on that one too.
Monday night at Jerry's World. Where's Jamar Chase? Where's Jamar Chase from?
New Orleans.
He is from New Orleans. Not like that made a difference. I'm still going with a W. Yeah, that's a win. Let's go.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Where's Jamar Chase from? Mars. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, they're gonna win. Oh, speaking of that, so I was doing a draft the other day, and my little draft kit that I got online, getting down to the bottom rounds, and my son, I was helping, my son was with me, and I was like, I don't know, buddy, what do you think about Chase Brown? It's like the second last pick of the draft, dude. Let's look at Chase Brown, or second last round of the draft, and I click on Chase Brown on my, just to kind of read about what they got going on with him, and it's a picture of Jamar Chase under Chase Brown. My son goes, that looks just like Jamar Chase. They look like they could be twins. And I was like,
because that is Jamar
that
Chase,
is
son.
Jamar Chase.
Thanks a lot, ESPN.
Yeah, RotoWire, which is usually really, really good. Anyway, sorry, I just thought that was funny. I don't know why that even popped in my brain.
All right. Week 15 is at Tennessee. Andre, what do you like?
The Brian Callahan Bowl.
Yeah.
Callahan Bowl.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. What you got, Chris?
This Tennessee team's going to be terrible.
You think so?
Win. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I'm going win.
All right, I'll go win.
I've got to win as well. Cleveland at home on Thursday Night Football the next week. So another
So Cleveland
another-
at
another short-
home.
Yeah,
I'm
another
a
short
good
turnaround.
guy. We need to beat Cleveland at some point. I'm gonna go win.
I already said it. You know what I'm going with.
Because
It's
look,
a
it's
sweep.
it's the reverse of what we talked about before. Of now Cleveland, it has the short week. Now Cleveland's on the road in the AFC North. That's my justification for saying we got to win one of these dang games.
How did we get 2 Thursday games?
Yeah.
We
That
got hosts, man.
sucks.
We got
That's
hosts.
terrible.
Yeah, we're
At
the only
least
team
do
that
Monday
has 4. I don't remember what the stat was. Whatever it is, from a scheduling perspective, we got hosts 2 years in a row.
Oh.
I know that we had like the second or third most primetime games. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And then this year,
They got 5, I think.
yeah,
this
we got a
year.
ton of primetime games this
Yeah.
year. Those Thursday games, though, I hate Thursday games.
They're always
I hate it
terrible.
for my kids. My son just wants to watch the Bengals.
Right.
And it's like, dude, this game starts at 8:15. He's got to be at school. School starts at 7:15.
Right.
Like he gets up at 6 a.m. I can't, I'll let him stay up, but there's zero chance he stays up for that whole game.
I hate them from the standpoint of there always seems to be an increased level. At least this is my perception. I'm not saying this is reality. My perception is there seems to be an increased level of injuries that happen just because there's not enough rest time between Sunday and then coming back. And like most of the time it's all right, you play Sunday, then we don't do anything Monday. We do a very light walkthrough Tuesday. We install the game plan Tuesday. You do a very light walkthrough Wednesday, and now you're back playing again. I'm like, have you had a chance to not be sore from Sunday yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When you take that Tuesday off day out, like they normally have, and now you have nothing, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Those dudes, I mean, what they do on Tuesdays, I know it seems crazy because you usually see them out, doing some kind of charity stuff, but the bulk of that day is cold tubs
and recovery, man.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, I just bought a cold plunge.
Did you?
Super excited about this thing.
All right.
Super excited.
That's cool. I can't wait to hear how that goes. I do the cold shower every day.
Yeah,
You do that?
I do. Well, I try to do it every day. It's not all the time. I started doing the cold shower just to try to sober up. I saw it on Andy Griffith where they dumped on Otis, they dumped cold water and then
Sure.
hot water on him.
Yeah.
So I would go cold water until I couldn't take it. And then I turn the hot water back on, and I go back to cold water until I shivered and got all the adrenaline running. And then boom, I was sober.
Okay.
Andy Griffith taught me that.
Wow.
Thank
How
you,
about
Otis. And
Life
since
lessons
then,
from
I've
Andy
learned
Griffith.
that cold showers are awesome for you.
Oh, yeah.
40 degree. So 40 degrees. I did it. I filled it up and I got it down. I put some ice in it, got it down to, it was like 64, 65. Still very cold, but once I was in it, I was fine. I get this thing down to 40. I've got a brand new ice maker now, like a big 100 pounds a day ice maker. And I've been just filling up bags and put them in the deep freeze. I'm going to get this thing down to 40 and then I'll let you know how it really goes.
Oh boy.
That sounds like a podcast episode.
Yes, sir. Well, Kevin Hart does that.
Yes, he does.
I love those. Those are
That's
hilarious.
a great show.
Anyway,
right.
I'm sorry. I get off the track way too easy.
Week 17, Denver comes here.
Win.
Yeah, I hope so. Geez, Pete.
Okay.
Who is Denver's quarterback? I don't even know. Let's see.
Rookie dude. Bo Nix?
Bo Nix.
Yes.
Bo Nix. Yeesh.
By then, you'll have a season of film on him.
You lose to Will
Pretty
Levis
good.
in the second half of the year or Bo Nix, you're in trouble. Tennessee or
Denver.
Bad news.
Last game is at Pittsburgh. Any chance of a I'll tell you right now, I just picked just because I had 3 wins in a row there. I'm like, I gotta have another loss in there somewhere.
Well, here's the
And they're
deal.
on the road.
To
Yeah,
be
but does it
100%
matter?
honest, to be 100% honest on this, what do I have them at?
Right now you have 1 loss.
There's no way our starters are playing. There's zero way our starters are playing. There is a chance that Pittsburgh will have some kind of weird win and 2
8.
teams lose.
No, they'll be 8-8,
Yeah.
and they got to keep Tomlin's streak alive.
Yep, and they got to keep the winning streak alive, so they got to come out and win. I'm going to give this a loss just because of that reason. I think just for that reason, because there's no way we're playing anybody in that week. If I'm correct, and we're 16-1 or 15-1
15.
Right.
at that point.
How many losses do I have?
You have 3 losses so far.
3. All right. I feel like 14-3 is a good number. 13-4. But see, does 13-4 get me the number 1 seed? I think 13-4 gets me the number 1 seed if we beat Kansas City earlier in the year. So I don't think our starters play, and I'll also go a loss.
Okay, that's the only week we all have a loss.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay,
What do we got here?
so this works out great. Nobody has a tie for wins or losses. So
Good.
Andre is at 13-4. Chris is at 15-2. I'm at 11-6, which is pretty much how we always are, right?
Feels
It doesn't
right.
matter. The personnel
right.
doesn't matter. The schedule doesn't matter.
Adam's got him.
We don't need to go through this schedule.
Nope.
We can just pick our final.
I
think
feel
we just-
like
right.
11 and
Forget
6
the-
is pretty high for Adam.
Yeah, forget the what teams they're playing, when they play. Like, just throw out what's your record. Perfect. That'll work.
We might just do that next year.
15-2. It sounds about right.
Feels right.
Matter of fact, we'll go to Andre and he will tell us what all of our picks are going to be. Okay, one more thing. We'll make it fast, but we have to have you as part of this, right? I was telling Chris, you and I almost went to an Earth, Wind, and Fire concert together.
This was such a homer move last week. Such a homer move. Adam waits to the end of the podcast to let me know that you were coming on this week. And he lets me know right after. He's like, we're sitting here for the last couple of weeks. We had some Olympic stuff, obviously, and different things for our Mount Rushmore. And he goes, Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. And I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. It's different. Threw it off a little bit. And then he's like, oh, and by the way, Andre Edwards is going to be on next week. And I'm like, man, you're playing straight to him. No, I was going to do that anyway. No, you weren't. No chance. You played straight to the guest, which is a incredibly smart move by you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Although I gotta say, this was an incredibly difficult Mount Rushmore. Like
Impossible.
when I started going through the songs that I know, and so I'm like, man, that's a banger, that's a banger, that's a banger. I'm like, to narrow it down to only four was much more difficult than I thought it was going to be when this was initially proposed to me.
I wrote down like 22 songs or something like that, and then I just stopped writing them down.
Yeah.
So anyway, probably 8, 9, 10 years ago, I started paying a lot closer attention to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and they're now I always tell people my favorite band of all time is Earth, Wind, and Fire. I've just dove into their music, and I adore it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I've never met anyone who knows Earth, Wind, and Fire and has ever said anything like, "God, they stink," or "I don't care for them."
Agreed.
Ever. I've never
Agreed.
heard
I don't
that.
know a single person that I'm like, I don't really care for them.
Yeah.
Or, they're not that good. Even if you don't like all of their songs, there's at least one or two or 10 that you're like, that's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Hey, I know that one. That was
Yep.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. There's a
Yeah,
couple where I was like, that was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna say. I bet a lot of people that just kind of have heard of them a lot or whatever, or kind of, oh yeah, well, September, that's everybody, it's at every wedding and stuff. Of course. But when people sit down and listen to or notice exactly what you said,
Yep.
notice that, oh, that's their song. That, oh, I remember that's, oh wow, that's that. I feel like that
Agreed.
happens to a lot of people, I'm sure.
Agreed.
All right. Would you like to start, Andre?
So obviously we're in the month of, and so
Yeah.
has to be on the list. If we're going Rushmores, I'm pretty sure on just about any and everyone's list when it comes to Earth, Wind, and Fire, September has to be on there. Then I went with Let's Groove, which I'm a big fan of. Reasons is on my list. And then follow that up or finish that up with Can't Hide Love. We did that as a cover of Debonair. Love that song.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Love
Is
that.
there a recording somewhere of that?
Ooh, maybe.
I might
I
be bothering you about that.
Yeah, we might see if we can find that.
Okay.
But that's my Mount Rushmore. So September, Let's Groove, Reasons, Can't Hide Love.
Beautiful. Chris.
No, you got to go next.
I got to go next. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You two are the Earth, Wind, and Fire, like aficionados of this podcast, at least.
Okay. I am gonna go. I think number one for me is Love's Holiday.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yep.
I love that song. Next, I've got to have Reasons on mine as well. I am a bit. There is good. I'm a huge ballad guy. Almost always prefer slow songs over faster paced songs. Usually, they have so many of both. It's crazy. But I'm going Devotion. I'm putting Devotion on. That's a slower one for sure.
Yeah.
And then I'm rounding it out with Fantasy.
That's all. So
Love
I
Fantasy.
had two like honorable mentions. And they were Fantasy and Boogie Wonderland.
Yeah.
So Boogie
That's a
Wonderland
fast-paced
is
one.
on
That's
mine.
excellent.
Yes,
Yeah.
Boogie Wonderland is on mine. And for some reason, my Wi-Fi keeps going out on my phone, and my internet down in this dungeon sucks. I'm trying to pull them up, but so I could play a little bit. We got to get a little. It's just not working. I'm so disappointed in myself. I'm usually so good with the music down here. So I'm gonna go September. I'm gonna go Boogie Wonderland. And the fantasy in that, I remember all those, but I think Oh man. Can't hide love.
Mm,
What am I up to?
you got three.
3.
Oh, then let's go. Let's groove.
Ah,
I probably would put Let's Groove above, like third instead of fourth. But yes,
all right.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
we had some mixtures in there.
Yeah.
Right. There was you didn't have September on yours at all.
I didn't. That's one of those.
It's
I was like,
because it's too much, right?
well, it's just the one that everybody knows. Like it's the most popular. It's their most popular song, I would say. And so just for that reason, I left it off. But of course, I mean, it's an amazing song, and it is because of that reason. Of course, it's
I was married.
reasonably on the Mount
I
Rushmore.
was married in September, and we thought about having that be one of the songs somehow integrated into the wedding, whether,
For sure.
at some point. I'm sure it was played, but it was
Yeah.
never. We ended up not using it for any of the the main songs that we do stuff with.
Yeah.
But that was on the list for sure.
Beautiful.
15 years. 15 years this month, man.
How about that?
Yeah, not for
I can't
me.
believe
That's
she
for
put up
her.
with you that long. That's crazy.
That's for her. Exactly. The hand is for her, for sure. Clap for
I'm
her.
gonna give her a present.
Yeah,
for
she
your
deserves one.
anniversary.
No
She
doubt.
deserved, because I was not the present. I promise that. I promise that. Over the years, maybe in the beginning, but over the years, I've become more of a that gag gift that you get at Christmas. I was a gag gift 15 years ago. Seemed kind of funny
You're
at the
just the
time.
gift
Now
that
it's like,
keeps
what
on
am I going to
giving,
do with
Chris.
this thing?
You're the gift that keeps on giving. It's fine.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Oh my God. Okay, Andre,
All right,
we have
boys.
kept you way too long as always.
Really, like 45 minutes. Well, normally we don't start till 10:30 or later, so it's 11:15. I feel like we only come for like 45 minutes
Feels right.
or
Feels right.
almost 2 hours, but that's okay. As always, your time, dude, means that like I know that we keep you way too long. You don't know how much we appreciate you giving us this time, though. Thank you very much.
And the pleasure's all mine, fellas. Every single time. I promise you that.
And congratulations on one of the coolest things I think anybody could ever possibly do.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You continue to amaze me with the things I like. In the beginning, it was Brian McKnight. Then I found out you sang a national anthem at the Bengals game. Now you're with Boyz II Men. Like, the older you get, the cooler you
The
get.
crazier it gets, bro.
I love it. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Andre Edwards at Andre Edwards.
_ Edwards 06. Yeah, on the former tweet box, now the Xbox.
I love it. Thank you.
Tweet box.
Oh, he called it the tweet box for me. Love that. All right.
I saw something that Bill Belichick got on social media today. Did you see
Oh,
that?
he's on Instagram.
He's on Instagram and he called it
Yeah.
Instaface or something like that.
Did he call it
He stole that from
I
me.
say
He did.
Insta Snap, but that's okay.
I
He's
know,
getting
but
close.
Yeah, you need
He's
to,
getting close.
You need to
Oh,
consider some.
I got to trademark some of
litigation
these
about that,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, I got to trademark some of my things. Tube Face, Insta Snap,
Yeah.
Face Tube. I got all of them.
Tweet
I got
box.
all of them. First off, he has to, though, because he's got a 26-year-old girlfriend or
Yeah,
24-year-old girlfriend.
How else are they gonna talk?
What do they talk about?
I have
What
no
do you
idea.
What do you talk about?
Now
with
they
her?
talk about Instagram.
Yeah. How do I get this? What
Yeah.
does this mean? Yeah.
There's only one letter on your screen. Well, I had to blow the text up so I could see it, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Anyway, Andre, thank you so much as always. Appreciate your time. Get some sleep. Enjoy the job. We didn't get to talk about the job. It's been going on for a while now. We'll get into that next time.
All right, boys. Good to see
Bye
you.
week,
Thank you.
12.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Sounds good.
See you.
All right, brother.
Thank you. All right.
Mr. Andre Edwards, amazing as always. I know we keep him too long, and I know I get off topic, and I know that I just like want to talk. I just want to talk sports with him.
It's too hard not to.
I just want to, he starts talking and I'm like, well, I want to talk about that for a second. Like, well, yeah, I know this, that, the other. And it's like, okay, just let Andre have his time to do what he does, which is give us all the knowledge.
Yes. And it's maybe we just need to have him on a little more frequently, but it's always tough. I just always feel bad asking because the man is responsible enough to go to bed at a reasonable hour.
And we do this. And, we could do it earlier, but he's got stuff going on too. Like, he's got kids, he's got stuff going on. You know, one
He's
of them's
just
in
getting back from the old carpool.
yeah.
I
I
when
mean,
we
one
got
of
on.
them's in 8th grade, so that one's not driving around. He's got to do his thing. So, you know, it's it is, you know, it's tough, but I would love to have Andre on more. That dude is one of my all-time favorite people. Yeah, it feels like that's the biggest celebrity I know.
Yeah,
I don't it doesn't feel like it is. That's the biggest
probably.
celebrity I know.
Sure.
That dude is insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've dropped his name before. Like somebody's like, "Oh yeah, well, do you know who do you know that's you got anybody who's the coolest person in your phone book?"
Contacts or
Like,
whatever.
dude, I got Andre Edwards in there. Former beat writer for LockedOnBengals.com. He was on tour with Brian McKnight. I just start dropping stuff on him.
Yeah. 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 Oh man. All right. Yes, we thank him as always. And we move on to the very last part of this podcast, and that is our comedy segment. And this week we did Adam Sandler's new special called
Love you.
Love You.
This, my friend, was not what I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Was this real or was this a production? This feels
Oh,
like
I see.
it doesn't feel 100% real.
Right. There were parts of it that I was like, maybe that was especially
The hole in the
opening,
floor,
well, the opening scene,
the opening for
that
sure was staged.
Yeah.
The lady with the kid in a car accident,
Mm-hmm.
100% not real.
Mm-hmm.
The dog,
The dog twice
coming
coming up the steps when he was getting there.
the
and then
hole in the
obviously
floor, and then they use
the monitor's not working.
the monitor's not working until the very end song when it needed to be there, when it was the coolest.
Yeah. The interaction with the guy, the God voice.
Yeah.
Some of it definitely was
Like
planned.
like in
Part-
my head, were these all like stand-ins in the audience? Like the random guy who was upset with the person behind him because they were laughing weird.
Oh, that felt real. I thought that
You
was
think
real.
that felt weird?
Yeah. Because they didn't even
Or
show
real?
them. It was a lady and he was like getting ready to stay. He's
was
like,
like,
whoa,
"Shut
whoa,
up."
what's going on here?
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can
That's-
all get in a fight afterwards.
yeah. But I know what you mean, because why wouldn't they edit that out? Right?
Well, I mean, they
Why
had a
wouldn't they
dog
make all
running. So
Right. That's all those things. Like some of that could have been real. And he was like, you know what? This was a huge mess, but I dedicated this show to my special. Like this was the one we recorded. So
or
we're just going to go with it, and it's going to make it crazy. And that's going to be like the thing about it.
or was this the craziest day that he had?
Mhm.
And he tapes every one of it. He's got a camera crew at every single, like every hour-long event he has.
Yeah, maybe.
And he was like, "Oh no, this is the one. Like this is crazy and stupid enough that this is the one."
Yeah, that could be.
Some random dude gives him like big old swole jacked up son of a gun, gives him his sweatshirt to wear, and then
Yeah.
just leaves and says, "Nice to meet you." I'm so confused
Right.
about all of this.
Yeah.
There was so much that wasn't real that it made me really think what's going on with the stuff when he actually went on stage.
There's some of that I could go either way. It might have been crazy things that actually happened that weren't planned, that they just decided to leave in because it was crazy, or it could have all been, or some of it could have been. There could have been a guy back there holding the dog, and at this certain time he's letting the dog out.
Yep.
Have the dog run out, and Adam's gonna say something funny about it.
Well, he just got done with a dog joke. That's weird. That's crazy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Did
the
I
pink.
even catch that?
He had the
Oh,
whole conversation with his dog.
was that right after that?
It was right before it. And then he told the dog, "Come over here. Let me see if I can get that pink to come."
Oh, yeah.
He told that joke literally 2 minutes before the dog came out.
Okay. Yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff that, I'll be honest, I'm still a little unsure whether all or some of it was fake or real or what.
I mean, it was a Happy Madison production, which that doesn't mean anything. That's just a production company. So they could do anything. And his last special might have been a Happy Madison production, but all of his movies on Netflix are all Happy Madison productions.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like, how did it felt out there. Like that. This is the most unique special I think we've ever seen.
We've seen some unique ones.
Yeah,
But yeah,
this is there with it.
Yeah.
Okay, top 5 because we've
Sure.
seen some unique specials.
Mhm.
I put this in top 5 of just unique specials.
Yeah.
I had trouble figuring out how to rate this because I couldn't tell how much of this I loved and how much I was just confused.
Okay.
His comedy, as random and plain as it was in this, like he had a bunch of like, hey, and then killed it with such a silly. Oh, that's Adam Sandler though. Just a dumb, silly, doesn't make sense. But and I'm cracking up laughing at the end of it because it's Adam Sandler, and that's every movie he's ever made. It's everything he's ever done. I wish I would have wrote some of the stuff down, but like just the very first joke, with the grapes, right? You know what I mean? He's like, oh my God, geez, Pete, you've changed. He's like, I've always liked grapes. Stop. I've always liked grapes. And he's talking about the grapes. And we're just on the grapes. So why are we talking about the grapes? I like the grapes. Well, grapes. I don't know about the grapes. Get here. So until you get out of here. All right, got out of here. And then all of a sudden I told the guy that was feeding me grapes, what's up with this guy? And I was like, that's it. That was killer, dude. That was awesome. That was killer. This is a tough one for me. I have not rated this in my head. This is very difficult.
I've written mine down and I'm still thinking about going up another notch, but
I will tell you that I'm 100% in that 3-2 to 4 range. Because I can't figure, I don't want to give it a 4 because 4 is like that special thing. And I don't know how much of this is stage stuff that I don't feel like it. I feel like I got to stay down from that 4 just to be like, okay, well, a little too much production.
okay.
Bobby Edwards, first time he came on our podcast, he was like, I love it because you guys don't have all the production that these people have. And then immediately, like 2 weeks afterwards, I got an iPad that had little touching things on it, right? But that was the thing. Like, was it too much production or was it really bad production there at the actual theater or wherever? I don't even know where they were at.
Yeah, they were at some kind of theater, yeah.
Anyway, let's just go with what I took from it. Dude is a pretty talented musician.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea. I knew that he could play the guitar, right? I mean, a lot of people can kind of strum out a few chords and sing silly songs, but my man was like slapping the bass.
Mm-hmm.
He was picking some like Mexican, what do you call that? Like mariachi kind of stuff. The last song, I mean, obviously he sings songs all the time. That's part of his. The last song that went on for feels like forever was really good.
The comedy song?
Yes, the comedy song was awesome. I thought. I don't know, man. This is tough. Can I say that the kissing booth was probably my favorite joke?
Yes, grandma made the kissing. Yeah.
And it was my other grandpa. What? It was my other grandpa. So they always flirted a little bit, but geez, Pete's is getting a little out of hand. Probably my favorite joke. That was hilarious. Super in depth.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. 3-7.
Okay.
I'm doing it. It was good. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh and go, "What's going on? This is crazy." It's Adam Sandler. It's funny.
Mhm.
The dude. It's a different type. It's not your normal stand-up that we're used to watching. I loved it though. I'm gonna tell you now, whether it was produced, highly produced, fake, almost fake, some fake. I loved every bit of it. I thought it was hilarious.
I did too.
I thought you were gonna be at like 2-7 because you didn't know what to do with it.
No, I'm the same. I was gonna say the same thing. It almost does not matter. There were a couple things that I was like, okay, well, that was obviously, or pretty sure that was planned and everything. And not every bit of that stuff was was the funniest. There were some things that because like even when the hole in the floor, um, he didn't really like make a joke about. There wasn't really a punchline for that.
Tray, no way that lunch tray works. Oh my God, it did, and it's like that felt they played it off like that felt real because he didn't throw a line in on it. I think that's what made that feel real.
So you think it was still?
I don't know. I think they
Yeah.
did a really good job. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's
what
hard
he
to-
does now. That's what he does. He makes movies. He's in that thing. I
Sure.
think that's what he does.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's what he does constantly is make movies, and that's so that he's gonna have some production in it for sure.
And whether it's like we're showing he's telling a story. Every movie's telling a story. We're telling a story from my perspective of what I go through every night when I go to the comedy show and I do my hour set and I got to walk through. Man, I thought you were going to cut off the back alley. Well, we tried to, but we didn't have enough people. And then walks in. Hey, yeah. Oh, look at lady with her busted face. God, that was obviously fake.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's time to go on. And they're introducing him as he's talking to this person, right? And it's like, and then you go on stage and it's like all this random stuff just happens to you. And these are the things, maybe not all at once, but throughout the time you tour, the crazy stuff that just randomly happens that we have to do, right? Oh, there's a hole in the floor. Well, hey, there's a hole in the floor. I feel like it's one giant production, one giant movie that he made of his stand-up. I do think that's his stand-up. That's his stand-up routine. But I think he put all these crazy things in that just randomly have probably actually happened to him in a show. Adam Sandler's not doing a show where there's a loose dog on set. I promise you, or a loose dog in the back. I promise that's not happening.
Yeah.
Zero chance.
Yeah. Yes. And to get back to the point that
Sorry.
whatever. No.
I love to get back to the point. That's the story of my life.
I'm just recalling something you said before was, regardless of all of that.
Yeah.
It made me laugh out loud more than most specials that we watch, to be honest with you. He has a kind of a unique way of telling jokes. And then his songs are, some of them are just so outlandishly silly, but they do all have at least a couple of funny lines
every time.
And he's, he's still that part of it kind of reminds me of his old albums. They were all sketches. They were all skits or whatever.
The whole thing, top to bottom.
Yeah, and then there would be a song every 3 or 4 tracks or whatever.
Toll Booth Willie, to this day, one of my all-time favorite sketches.
Yeah. Oh man, so many great characters. So I laughed really hard, and I even at the end of it, I'm like, you know what? Whether this stuff was real or fake, it was just so far off of what we're kind of used to at a comedy show. And I've just always, and I'm sure there's a bias because I've always been an Adam Sandler fan, but
100%.
But I'm like, I loved this. I loved this whole thing. And so I told you I was even thinking about notching it up one. I'm not going to. I'm going to stick with what I wrote down.
Let me guess. 4-3.
Pretty close. 4-6.
Whoa. Wow. That's I'm starting to talk myself into this, right? Like I really truly believe this is this is unique to Adam Sandler in a way of he makes movies now. I think this is a full out movie. Like maybe not the audience, but everything in that went down. I feel like every crazy part is part of it. I even think he probably put somebody back there to talk about who's whatever, or yell, or I feel like all of that. It's a movie. This was a movie of what stand-up comedian goes through on a daily basis while he's out touring. But at the same time, it's his actual set. So it's hilarious because it's Adam Sandler's set. but it's him getting a chance to do something different. Like Uncut Gems. I always go back to Uncut Gems, like one of the most unique, just different things I've ever seen.
It wasn't a comedy.
Not even a little bit was it a comedy. It was so unique and weird and different. And I think that's what he did. He was like, I'm going to put out my comedy special. I'm going to do my comedy, but I'm going to do what I do best now, which is make movies. I make movies. This is going to be a movie.
Yeah.
It's going to have my comedy in it, but it's going to basically be a movie about what we go through as comedians on random nights during the week when you're doing a show. I'm starting to feel like that's what this is.
Okay.
Or I'm talking myself into it. One of the two.
Well, next week we're going to have Adam Sandler on so we can ask him.
Can't wait to have the Sandman on. We'll get into that. We'll get into a little bit of what Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be like. I talked to DP. They are actually going to film Dan Patrick's part of Happy Gilmore 2 in the man cave. I think it's in October. They're going to be filming it. So maybe we'll get DP on here with him. It'll be a good time.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So
that's, by the way, is my favorite radio show.
Oh,
nothing better than
I
Dan
don't doubt
Patrick.
it. I don't doubt it.
Nothing better.
I don't listen to much sports talk radio anymore. That's all.
Dan Patrick is not sports talk radio.
I gotcha.
It's a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's a podcast now. Every sports talk radio show turns their show into a podcast.
Right.
Dude, go listen to it's you. If you've never listened to it, it's hard because he's got his Danettes, but
yeah,
comedy. It's great.
Yeah. Okay. We've got a couple things to pick for next week, and then we're out of here.
Yep. All right. What we got?
I've got comedy. You've got Mount Rushmore. So I'll start with comedy.
All right.
And there's, like we keep saying every week, there are more new specials, even ones that are from people that we know of and are exciting and can't wait to see this. There are more of those coming out every week than we can keep up with now.
Yes.
And
you're going to go back in time? You're going to go back a couple months, or you're going to stick with the new stuff?
Going to stick with another new one.
Okay.
This is a YouTube. Okay. An old
the YouTube.
The YouTube, sorry.
It's on the YouTube.
My bad. You're right. So on the YouTube, this is an older guy.
Feels better, doesn't it?
It does feel better. It's correct. It's like the Ohio State. It's the YouTube. All right. Going with an older fella, but it's fun when these older guys who've had some success before come out with a new thing, because you're like, what's this going to be like? You know, this guy's in his 50s or whatever, 60s, and it's interesting to see how everybody's guys that you've known for a long time, see how they develop, how they change over time. Greg Fitzsimmons. When you see him, unless you're already thinking of him, when you see him, you'll be like, Greg Fitzsimmons, of course. Because I feel like he is that kind of comedian.
But so he's out there, like he's known.
Yes,
I would know him if I saw him.
Yes, when you see him, you'll be like, oh, Greg.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible with putting names with faces and all that.
And I am too. But that's what I mean. Like, he is one of those guys that I feel like that probably happens with a lot of people. Like, oh, I've seen him in a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I got this guy.
Okay, yeah. So it's called You Know Me. It's on YouTube. On the YouTube.
Thank you.
And it is the Greg Fitzsimmons.
Now that Bill Belichick's stealing my stuff, I'll let everybody use it.
Okay, that's fair. That's nice of you, actually.
Even though YouTube is usually the tube face for me, but that's okay.
That's true. See, you can keep tube face. Let everybody else use the YouTube.
YouTube.
That's kind of like
I can keep tube face,
like your subcategory.
Tube face.
Yeah. There you
go. Chat snap is always gonna be chat snap, though. That's the only one I say correctly.
Oh, well, that is the closest. That is the closest you come to saying.
Yeah.
Correctly.
Insta snap never makes it. You know what I don't use is gram. I don't use the gram in anything. Like, I use the face tube, right? So, I don't use book either. Maybe it'll be the gram book.
Yeah,
I like the
that
Graham
could
book.
be. Yep,
Yeah, I like the Graham
that's
book.
another one.
581.
But what is that referencing?
The Graham book. It's referencing. Isn't the world now where if you put something on the gram, it's on the book?
It's their own, but they're both owned by Meta, I think. Yeah. Okay, there
Who's
you go.
Meta?
The company that owns
That's
Facebook.
that's the face tube, right?
That's the face tube. Yes, that's the
Yes.
face tube and the Insta Snap. Yeah,
Yes. The
Yeah.
Insta-Snap and the face. You know my lingo.
I know it.
And
of
the
course.
tube face
Uh-huh.
is what we're going to be watching. Greg Fitzgerald
Simmons.
Fitzsimmons. What is the name of the special? Like
It's called The You Know Me.
the You Know Me. Okay. I almost just ran with it. Like, all right, the You Know Me.
Yeah.
I mean, these are comedians that come up with the weirdest things. Yeah.
Yeah.
The You Know Me.
That
That sounds
could be real.
totally real. Let's go Mount Rushmore of railing banisters.
I love that.
No. The Mount Rushmore of
Spindle styles.
yeah.
I like the ones where at the top it's like round
Yeah.
and then there's like a little thing, a ring underneath that, and then a bigger ring under that.
The Mount Rushmore of crown moldings. I could do that. I could get into that.
Oh, you'd know all that. Buddy.
No, for real though. Let's do this. Let's so we did Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Mhm. Who's your
I'm a
favorite?
big coattails guy. I'm gonna-
Coattails. Oh,
Coattails. I'm gonna ride your
okay.
Did you think that was
I
a
thought that was a
band?
band. Thought that was a band I didn't know. I was like, that's fair. I made you do Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'll do coattails. I'll look them up.
The difference is I went to Earth, Wind, and Fire and I was like, ooh, these are awesome songs.
Yeah,
you would have typed in coattails. And I don't have no idea what I'm doing here.
Is that a SoundCloud band? Or?
Yeah, what is this? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna go with I want to find a band. I'm looking for a band.
Mhm.
I want a band that's just got a million songs out there. AC/DC's got a million. So does Aerosmith. Let's do.
My 5-year-old nephew's favorite band of all time is AC/DC.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He tells people
Thunderstruck.
that all the time. Loves
Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck, but he's starting to branch out a little.
Hell's
He knows
Bells?
a couple other.
Hell's
I
Bells.
don't even know which ones he knows, but he just, instead of talking about Thunderstruck to everybody,
Yeah.
he says my favorite band is AC/DC.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
That is so great. Is this this is Jen's? This is Jen's
Yes.
boy, right? Yeah. Luke.
Luke.
All right.
Old
I
Luke.
totally believe that because his dad, I feel like, would get him totally into some some Thunderstruck for sure.
Yeah.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. For I want somebody. We've done Boyz II Men.
Yeah.
Did Earth, Wind, and Fire. What else have we done? What other groups have we done?
So hard to remember.
There's some. Oh, I got it. Nope, I got it.
Gotcha.
The Mount Rushmore of ABBA songs.
Oh boy. I'm gonna have to contact. I have a friend that's a big ABBA fan.
Male or female?
Male.
So, I just remember ABBA as a kid. ABBA Gold. ABBA? I call it ABBA. I don't know.
What do I call it?
I call it ABBA.
Yeah,
I don't know
probably
what it
right.
is.
That seems right.
They when their Gold album came out, which was like greatest hits.
Thank you.
My house in the probably mid 90s is when that came out. It's all that was played. Right?
Wow. Over Elvis, over Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
And I felt like those were the classics at your house.
This is before Paul Witt lived there. I'm talking early 90s, like mom and dad.
Mhm.
And let's see if I can figure out if I can get enough internet to find out. When ABBA Gold came out. ABBA Gold, there it is. I wish things just automatically had a date so I don't have to Hype
I
stuff
know.
in.
I know.
Anyway, 1992, early 90s, this came out.
Sure, because they were
So I'm
mostly a what 70s
70s, yeah,
70s and
maybe
80s.
some early 80s, mid 80s. So when that came out, loved it. Like it was played constantly. My dad loved it. Like for my dad to love that, like my dad loved Led Zeppelin and AC/DC, and then he liked ABBA,
Yeah.
and so did mom. And I forget about it. I totally forgot about it for years. And Mamma Mia becomes this giant movie, and it's all based around ABBA songs. Everything's based around an ABBA song.
Oh,
Mamma Mia, top to bottom, all they do is sing ABBA songs.
that's
Mamma Mia and Mamma Mia too.
that's a Broadway show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Broadway show, and
Okay.
they turn it into a movie, and yeah, it's super popular.
Okay.
And we're watching this with my wife and her family, and these songs are coming on, and I'm like, Mamma Mia, here we go. But it's every song that's on there, not just the main one. Mama, like all of them, I'm in it. And my father-in-law looks at me and he's like, "How do you know all these?" I'm like, "Dude, this was on at my house
Played
all
my
the
house.
time. This is like huge." Never would have thought. Now it's just like this Mamma Mia, which is this girls movie. You know, it's all about it's a, you know, kind of chick flick. So I think there's some really good tunes in this. They've got some good stuff. Listen to a few of the songs. I don't know how big you are into it, how much you've ever listened to them.
Dancing Queen's the only thing coming to mind right now.
Mamma Mia, Dancing Queen. There's dude, I'm telling you right now. There's probably, I bet there's 10 songs you know.
I was gonna say, I believe this is one of those bands, the
Yeah.
same as Earth, Wind and Fire, where you're like, oh, whoa, that was ABBA.
Yes. Yeah. And you're gonna go, oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Dancing Queen, knowing me, knowing you, take a chance on me.
There you go. I know that one.
Yep. Mamma Mia, lay all your love on me, Super Trooper, that's a good one. I have a dream, the winner takes it all. Money, 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 money. SOS. Gonna SOS. You know that when you hear it. Fernando. You know, Fernando. Voulez-vous. You know that. Gimme, gimme, gimme. You'll know that. Let's see. One of us, the name of the game. Thank you for the music. Waterloo. You'll know Waterloo.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of them that
was a battle, wasn't it? No.
probably. But when you listen to these songs, their biggest hits, you'll be like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ABBA. I'm gonna go greatest hits. We're gonna go Mount Rushmore ABBA songs.
Got it.
All right, so we got Luke, Gary. Gary? I feel like I'm close. Greg Fitzsimmons. Greg, I feel like I was pretty close there.
I thought you were calling him. I thought your guess at his name was Luke Gary.
I was trying to get his first name. Greg Fitzsimmons.
Luke
and
Gary, have a great evening.
Have a great evening. Have a great evening. And we're going to do the Mount Rushmore of ABBA songs. Until next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on.